Hi guys, in this lecture you will be learning how to handle the overflow, how to handle the display and visibility, and then the combinators and opacity. So first of all, here I'm going to create a paragraph. Here I'm going to create a div, and here is its closing tag, and in between this I'm going to copy a paragraph. Here is the paragraph. So now here I'm gonna define its width and height. Here is its width 200 pixel and its height is also 200 pixel. And now let's render it. And here I'm gonna provide the border. And now execute it. So here you see that the content is overflow from the div. And how to handle it? We need to provide the overflow property. If we give it value overflow hidden, so the content that is outside the div is automatically hide. And if we give it scroll, then a scroll is added and we can access the content. Here the content is present. And the next thing is the display and the visibility property. So here I'm gonna create a second div, copy this, and here, and give the here I'm gonna make it paragraph. So now here is the paragraph, and I'm gonna give it the border 1 pixel solid black. So now let's watch both of these. So here is the paragraph and here is the div. So now I'm gonna apply the visibility property on the div. So I'm gonna give it a value hidden and reload the page. So now here you see that the div still covers the space, but it is not visible. It's mean the div is existing but it is not visible, and we are also able to give it a value visible, then it's visible. And now I want to show you the display property. When we give the display property, then the element does not cover the space, display none. And here you see that the div cannot covering the space, the div is no more exist, it is not covering the space, so that's why paragraph float on the upside. And then we can also give it block, then the div is shown on the screen. Here is the div. So that's why we are using the display property, because display property will just disappear the HTML element. And the next thing is the opacity. We can also give the opacity to an image, then it's become transparent. Here I'm gonna import an image. Here is the JPG. So now here is the image, it is clearly shown to you, but now here I'm gonna give it image. And now we have to write opacity, and then we can give the value from the 0.1 to 1.0. If we give the 0.1, it is completely transparent. here it is completely transparent, but if we give 0.5 or 0.34, so here it is less transparent. If we give 1.0, so it is fully visible. So this is the way we can use the opacity. And the next thing is the combinators. So first of all, what is the combinators? Here I'm gonna remove this and make it a paragraph. I have removed that paragraph mistakenly. Here is the second paragraph. So now these are the two paragraphs. Now I am going to apply the styles on these paragraphs. First of all, write the div selector, then P. So now what I am going to do, there are two paragraphs. I am going to apply the style on this paragraph by using the combinator. So what is the combinator? The combinator is just a way in which we use the different selectors to apply style. This is a descendant selectors in which we apply the style on the paragraph that is inside the div. So now this style is only apply on this paragraph that is inside the div. Reload the page and here you see that the border is apply only the first paragraph. Here I'm gonna increase its height. So here you see that the first paragraph have the style because it is inside the div. This is called the combinator. And here I'm gonna show you another thing, that is here I'm gonna remove this div and here create another paragraph. And now here I'm gonna close the div, but here I'm gonna make it in the span. This paragraph is now inside the span. And now I am going to apply the style on the paragraphs that is inside the div, and that are the direct children of the div. Here this is a child selector, this is a child selector, this is the descendant selector. So now the style is applied only on the paragraphs that are the direct child of the div. Here these two paragraphs are the direct child of the div, but this paragraph is the child of the span, and then span is a child of the div. So here I'm gonna give the background red. So now let's watch it. Here you see that first two paragraphs have the red background. Here I'm gonna remove the height. Here remove the width, and now watch it clearly. So here you see that first two paragraphs have the style because these are the direct children of the div. Here you can see that, and the third one is the child of the span. So this is the child selector. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. If you have any problems, so kindly add the discussion on Udemy. I will help you as much as I can, and in my next lecture I'm going to discuss pseudo elements and pseudo classes. See you in the next lecture.